We are living through a time of profound disruption. Many of the systems we rely upon are simultaneously going through accelerating change. If we look forthrightly, honestly, we can bear witness to countless ecological, economic, political, and social unravelings. It can feel overwhelming. But if we can maintain a slow heart rate and listen closely, beneath the noise and speed, we can come to understand that our global converging crises are not separate. In many ways, they share the same origin in the behavioral and cultural patterns of modern humans. And as a skilled, holistic doctor would do, it's wise to look for root causes as the primary path to sustained healing. As we'll explore, to heal the earth, we must become healers of places. In growing our understanding of the root cause, we can look at something we explored in a connected story that reflected on much of the suffering we experience as individuals, the pain we carry, the anxiety, numbness, disconnection that so many of us feel today. We observed that these aren't just personal struggles, they're symptoms of a larger story we have been living inside. This is the story of separation that tells us we are separate from nature, from each other, from Earth, from the rest of life. Now, this same story has profoundly shaped our collective human cultures, our systems, our cities, the way we understand economics. It's the story that lets us pave and channelize rivers, see our forests primarily as timber. It causes us to struggle to find ways to address the loneliness epidemic, especially concerning amongst our elders and youth. It's the story that makes us blind to place and leads us to see it primarily as a backdrop for a bigger, faster worldview. While this story has led to things often perceived as positive like material wealth, convenience, and ease of life, it's becoming increasingly clear that the story of separation is consuming itself, and we need new, more evolved, shared stories. Human impact encompasses the whole planet, even as we still grow more fragmented, at odds with each other and with the biological ecosystems that sustain us. The crises we see around us are not random. They are the logical result of the story of separation and its worldview scaled. The breakdowns we see in climate, in democracy, health, runaway technology, social isolation are deeply interconnected. Systems thinker Daniel Schmachtenberger calls this convergence the Metacrisis. It's not just a traffic jam of global problems. It's a failure in the deeper capacities that allow human groups to effectively manage our parts. Our ability to make sense of the world, to coordinate action that leads to good outcomes for many, and to stay connected to meaning and purpose. An essential pathway to healing is for each and every one of us to find our agency and our part in healing the whole. And a significant cause in our lack of agency is a problem with scale. When we try to respond to the crisis at the planetary scale, through large-scale policies, summits, and strategies removed from everyday life, it often leaves us feeling disconnected still. Far from understanding what we can do here and now, the only place we ever are. Far from the sick soil beneath our feet that spreads across our landscapes. Far from the people that we love and want to see living into a bright future. Far from what we can actually touch and care for. The problems are real, but the way the globalized world responds, from above, from abstraction, can strip us of agency and create impractical reliance. It's almost always out of touch. Literally. The modern world and the story of separation scaled globally has led us to forget that healing happens in context. Life happens in context. We do need to zoom out to coordinate at the planetary scale, but the more we zoom out, the more we need feedbacks that weave us back in, that keep us rooted. When we return to place, not the idea of place, but the land and its living realities, to people, not their online profiles, but their living character and presence, we remember that our actions matter, that our care circles back. Belonging actually makes us stronger. Because place is not just where we live. It's not a backdrop. It's where and how life lives through us. So it's time to rejoin the land of the living. The Metacrisis shows us the whole planet is in pain and the disease is very complex. But healing doesn't happen all at once. A body heals through a balanced understanding of whole systems and parts, then through care, patience, attention, reconnection, and gratitude for any healing that happens. So it is with the earth. In the Pacific Northwest, when dams are removed and salmon return upstream, incredible things happen. The nutrients salmon carry from the sea strengthen forest ecologies far upriver. In an article in the publication Nature from 2001, authors Helfield and Nyman share, in some Pacific Northwest rivers, up to 70% of the nitrogen in riparian foliage, like trees and shrubs, comes from salmon carcasses after spawning. And the increased health of one river is felt in marine ecosystems up and down the coast as well. On the other side of the continent, an inspiring reconnection is underway. Along the Eastern Wildway, a vision of restored forest corridors stretching all the way from Florida to Quebec, communities and conservationists are bringing this networked dream to their places, linking fragmented habitats so wildlife can move freely once again. As animals return, they reseed trees, regenerate ecosystems, and rekindle ancient flows of life that have been blocked for a long time now. These local efforts, when connected, contribute to something much greater. As Dr. Ron Sutherland of Wildlands Network puts it, if protected, the Eastern Wildway Habitat Network would allow almost all native species to survive the ravages of rapid climate change and habitat destruction. This is how life begins to flow again, across a continent, one forest, one place at a time. These are compelling, living examples of what's possible. When we tend to a place, we do more than restore its health. We participate in healing the larger body of life, in helping it to remember its thriving state of wholeness. How might global conflicts receive doses of healing and remembering of wholeness inspired by a multitude of healing places? What if Earth isn't just where we live, but who we are a small part of? What if each place is a cell in a living body connected by countless flows of life? And what if we, people, are how Earth learns to care for herself? When we see place and its living realities, we can better see the whole. And in seeing the whole, we begin to understand our role, not as conquerors or consumers, but as stewards, custodians, participants, contributors, as vital parts, as kin. Because Earth is not a resource, she is a complex web of relationships. She's a planet-sized, awe-inspiring physical body drifting through vast empty space. She is pretty neat. And to see all this clearly, to contribute skillfully to her well-being, may be the great calling of our time. And what if, just for a moment, we could all feel what it would be like to step into this together? This is where we collectively remember how to come into loving contact with life again, where our greatest agency lies, in our place. Imagine a planetary awareness of the living body of Earth and the patterns and principles that lead to her flourishing. And from that, a growing shared will for her healing amongst her humans. Then everywhere, rivers tended, forests reconnected, life springing back. With each act of care, we are dissolving a bit more of the impossible. The abstract global problems, they stop feeling like distant threats. Instead, we feel a growing local coherence alongside a world slowly, steadily remembering itself whole. Imagine the gift we can give our grandchildren, or perhaps theirs, an Earth comfortably along her return journey to healing and wholeness. But there's a deep gift for this moment as well. Not just the existentially refreshing revelation that healing is possible, but the experience of healing as it happens. As someone who has personally been navigating a complex and fairly disabling disease for many years now, I can say from my experience that feeling healing can be such a profound gift that in and of itself, it can be enough. It is enough. What if we can feel the planet's healing in earnest in this generation? In this time of breakdown, something ancient is awakening in our collective awareness. A new way of seeing, or perhaps a very old one. A rediscovery of our ecological eyes. And if we see clearly enough, if we tend courageously enough, we might just welcome a new world into being, one place at a time, and just in time. So let's return to where we are and begin from there. And for today's participatory prompt, please share an example of a global problem that your instinct tells you would receive a dose of healing as places go through their own healing process. Please share in the comments below or on your Facebook or Instagram profile. And if you do so there, don't forget to mention Awakening Lands.